Hello, everyone, and welcome once more to this discussion session tonight, an open house with the faculty from the School of Public Policy and Governance at TISS Hyderabad. I'm Sauraveswar Sen, founder Catalyst, welcoming all of you for a heart-to-heart discussion, addressing your queries, concerns, your planning with the public policy program, as well as the natural resource and governance course offered by the TISS School of Public Policy and Governance. First and foremost, sincere thanks to the faculty members as well as the organizing team from TISS Hyderabad to enable us create this opportunity for all the aspirants. And aspirants, thanks to you too for showing your interest in our endeavor and being with us to share your queries, concerns, doubts, and to be able to make a judicial choice with your career planning ahead with the School of Public Policy and Governance. I would like to introduce our faculty speakers for the day. Dr. Asim Prakash is a seasoned professor of public policy at Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Hyderabad.
Am I visible on the screen?
You are, very well.
I can't see myself, that's why I'm asking.
Dr. Asim Prakash is a seasoned professor of public policy, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Hyderabad. With over 20 years of experience in research and teaching, he played a key role in establishing the School of Public Policy and Governance at TISS, designing course curriculums and contributing significantly to research projects on state market interactions, regulation, sociology of markets, and human development. Asim also co-established India's first public policy school at Jindal and contributed to policy initiatives in the Maldives. He has a stint at the University of Oxford as a Fund Fellow and is a sought-after advisor in public policy and social science, known for his recent books on urban India and the middle class. A sports enthusiast, Asim holds a doctorate from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Thank you so much, Professor Asim, for taking out your time and being with us tonight. We look forward to an engaging discussion with you. Professor Bibhu P. Nayak, we warmly welcome you to our discussion session. He's an associate professor, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, TISS Hyderabad, specializing in environment and resource governance as an economist. With previous experience at TERI, New Delhi, and ISEC, Bengaluru, he has a strong background in ecological economics, development economics, and economic policy. Bibhu has led research projects funded by national and international agencies focusing on conservation economics, community-based institutions, and participatory resource management. He's published extensively, won awards like the Global Development Network Medal for research on development, and actively participates in professional associations and academic networks like INSEE, OEA, SANDI, LC, SR, and others. Thank you so much, Professor Vibhu, for being with us and sharing your insights related to this course of natural resource and governance. Dr. Ipshita Sapra, thanks a lot for joining us from Japan tonight. Transitioned from a decade-long career in development practice to full-time academia in 2010. She holds a PhD in social sciences from TISS Mumbai, focusing on rural livelihoods of young persons with disabilities. Ipshita has affiliations with the Prime Minister's Rural Development Fellowship Program and is a recipient of prestigious Commonwealth and British Evening Scholarships in the UK. Her research areas encompass social conflict, gender and development, and urban care dynamics. Currently, she serves as the faculty coordinator of MA and postgraduate diploma programs in public policy and governance at TISS Hyderabad. Thank you so much, Professor Ipshita, for taking out your time and being with us. And in the interest of every aspirant, we would like to please share this with all of you that the session is meant to clear your queries. So please feel free to be as interactive as possible. Use the chat box throughout the session, though we will, of course, try to dedicate a bulk of our discussion to Q&A. but we would request all of you to keep the questions coming as and when. To begin with, I may request Professor Ipshita Sapra, for the interest of the time zone difference, because she must be at a zone which is already nearing midnight now, to maybe set the tone for the discussion today. Thank you so much. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sauraveswar, and a very good evening to all the aspirants, candidates, and my dear colleagues who are here. Very happy and excited to join in this open session. It's always good to interact with students. They're always better in person, but in the absence of that, I think technology comes to aid very, very nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the public policy and good governance program, the master's and the postgraduate diploma. And after that, we will invite questions from the aspirants about the program. I'll start with I'll share my screen. Is my screen visible to the participants? Okay, let me now go to the full screen. It's in the full screen mode, right? Is it in the full screen mode for you?
No, it is not, because I think you are.
You have not saved it.
You are.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So, we feel very proud to present before you the postgraduate program in public policy and governance, simply because this is something that we think we have aced. This is a program that was started in the year 2013, and we have completed 10 years of the program, and this is one of the most sought after programs at TISS today. Very briefly, as you might know, that TISS was established in the year 1936. Over the years, it has evolved as an institution that responds to the current challenges that the nation faces. TISS Hyderabad was established in 2012, and it is right now a very top-rated destination for studies in public policy and in general social sciences. The cornerstone of public policy and good governance is that it is very, very interdisciplinary in nature. Much before the NEP, it is a program that understands that in order to tackle or address problems that are there in the society, it is important to examine what are the domains, what are the realms in which these problems exist. And for that, you can understand that no one discipline is adequate. Like the kind of problems that we have, our emotional problems are related to our social problems and related to our physical problems, and we cannot really think of them in silos. Similarly, when we talk about public policy, in order to address problems holistically, it is important that one has a foundational understanding of different disciplines from which public policy draws. Okay. We also have a very innovative pedagogy. We'll get a chance to discuss it a little bit more, but what we try to do is that we are very much committed to ensure that what our students learn in the classroom is something that they also see in the field. They are able to connect the dots between the classroom and what they see in the field. And there are various ways to do it, and the main bulk of it is done through what is known as experiential learning and Capstone projects, which enable the students to actually soil their hands by working in the field, by understanding how policies are imagined, how they get implemented, what are the problems that are there in the process of implementation. So what is the impact of these policies, and finally, all of these coming together to inform better policies. So as I said, that the foundational disciplines are multiple, and the public policy as a discipline draws from ethics, economics, political science, sociology, and law. What it essentially means that what you study draws from all of these and enables you to have a much more holistic perspective. Okay. You have several days, in fact, more than 100 days of field-based immersions, and you are expected to also do capstone projects. I'll discuss it a little bit more in the next slide. Basically, we want you to, have a very strong grip over what are the institutions, okay, that are presently addressing the different kinds of developmental deficits that the country is faced with. How are they performing? How should they perform? Are there certain things that can, address the policy gaps? So there's a focus on institutions because the institutions are the vehicles through which policies get implemented. And a very important part of the entire process is evidence, which is often through data, which is also through an evaluative process, the meaning of which is that for everything that you say, there is to be evidence, which is to be found through different sources. There's also an emphasis on multiple lenses because policy has to be seen not just from the lens of the government that is implementing it, but also how it lands on people for whom, it is imagined. Several times actually we have come across policies and we see that maybe we have these policies, but maybe the society is not ready for it. Transgender policies, for example. We often feel that we have some policies, but is the society really ready to accept transgenders as one of their own? So, there are many places where we see that the policy is ready, but the society is not. Sometimes the society is ready, but there is no policy. India, for example, does not have a refugee policy, though India has a large number of people who come to, come here for different reasons. So, so there's this mismatch which also happens because policies needs to be understood through different kinds of lenses. And in order to understand that, one needs to look beyond the superficial and look at the socio-political and economic dynamics that influence policy at each stage. We try to also imbibe some kind of a global insight, which means that while the emphasis is on India, the policies and the way to study it and the way to examine policies and the perspectives that you develop is something which is comparable, which you are able to compare with other parts of the world, and the main key ideas remain relevant whichever part of the world you choose to work in. So the curriculum is very international when it comes to the design and the way it is conceptualized. There is also an interconnectedness. We feel that one has to, when one engages with the policies, one has to look at how one policy invariably affects other policies and how it is to be understood as a whole, and different parts of the whole which all come together to create impact or not create impact, whatever be the case. And therefore, that kind of an understanding is emphasized. And finally, we have what are known as policy area concentrations. I'm going to talk about it in the next slide. What is important is what you take away from this particular course. Okay. See, there are often questions about whether I'll get a job after this course, whether, what are the placement opportunities. And we very firmly believe that TISS, though provides 100% placement support, all our students get placed, but we emphasize on building your skills. We emphasize on building your competencies to ensure that you have what is required by the country. You have the necessary skills and competencies that enable you to get the job because we are equipping you with those skills. What are these skills? As a part of this program, you do a lot of reading and a lot of writing, which essentially means that you have a very sound and robust grip over policy affairs, and you develop the ability to articulate it in a way that is very precise, that is very brief, and which is very sharp. Okay, you master the art of persuasive writing, so to say. Okay, you are able to undertake policy analysis. Because if you read a policy document, they all sound very fancy, they all sound very flowery. How do you actually dissect a policy? Okay, that is a skill that is very much required, and that is something that you gain as a part of this program. You must have heard about, many organizations doing impact evaluation, because a policy is never complete unless, it is monitored, unless it is evaluated, and the learnings are taken forward, and there's a feedback loop so that the policies are improved all the time. So, and there are specific techniques of impact evaluations that we teach our students. Data, Asim always says that whether you love data or hate data, you cannot understand public policy, you cannot study public policies without having understanding of data. So, and let me tell you, while there's a huge focus on data, there's a lot of emphasis on data, what is required for you to master data is just an open mind. Rest is our job. It is our job to ensure that you pick up the requisite skills. But once you have have an open mind, and we always give examples of our students with background in literature, with background in history, who are now our most potent source. These are people we always go back to when we have to discuss data, when we have to talk about data. We also focus on, as I was speaking about, reading and interpreting, reading and writing. An important part is to also understand code judgments and legislations, because they are very important carriers of policy decisions. Writing, one of the things that we teach our students is to write policy briefs. These policy briefs are used in all circles. They're used by think tanks, they're used by lobby organizations, they're used by government agencies, where you produce, as I said, policy documents often run into, many pages. A policy brief is a 2-3 page, very crisp document that captures the essence of what is required. What is the problem? What is the policy design which is suggested? And what are the things what are the specific components? We train our students in writing these, and these come very, very handy, and these are some of the skills which are very, very important. We talk about policies, and we cannot really talk about them without appreciating the role of ethics. Ethics are often choices that people have to make, policies have to make, in terms of what is it that they are committed to. And this is something that is taught to all our students as a foundational part of public policy program. The innovative pedagogy that we talk about is also encapsulated in what we call the policy area concentrations. The policy area concentrations are like mini specializations that our students do. It is after the second semester, students get to choose. Our courses are completely national education policy aligned, which means that from the second area, you choose an area, choose a research focus for the rest of your course. Okay, and the available PACs for the students are regulations and institutions, data science and public policy, and social conflict and public policy. So what happens is that your research is oriented around this, your capstone projects are oriented around this, and as a part of this, as public policy and good governance labs, which you do as a part of a capstone project, you are placed as interns to work with government entities, corporate bodies, and civil society organizations. So what you do is that there is some kind of an immersive learning. You sit in their offices, you work with them with a research focus, which is, collaboratively developed, which evolves through discussion between these organizations and your supervisors and mentors at TISS. So you actually, while you are studying, you are working in these organizations. You know what are the day-to-day struggles. You know how policies are in real life imagined, in real life designed, in real life implemented. What are the challenges? What are the opportunities there? And how do you bring your own skills, your own learning to the fore? Okay, and by the time you graduate, you can say that I have worked with Ernst and Young, I have worked with this particular department, the municipal administration department. I have worked with an organization that is working on violence against women, and I have worked with the SC and ST department of a particular state. So basically, you have a very strong foothold into the real life, while still studying and continuously connecting the dot, something the program in India can presently equip you with. Okay, and you look at these really fascinating books. These are all research reports that our own students, we believe in making our school, our program, a completely student-led program. And these are the some of the publications that the students have come up with in the past few years. So some snapshot of rural experiential learning, where the students actually go and understand how, here we have students going to the government of Kerala, where they're attending a government meeting, trying to see how these are conducted. So by the time you graduate, you have seen it all. Okay, we try to make our campus a very vibrant academic space by bringing in a large number of people in an online as well as in person, perspective series. We have hosted close to 100 of this lectures, and we have got the best of the minds to come and speak with our students. Okay, we were very active during COVID. We had a series of policy papers that were published during this period, and important exchange. And every year our students are selected to spend a semester, sometimes 15 days, in universities across the world. We have active partnerships with about 60 universities worldwide, and our students always get selected for these programs, and that gives them a different kind of exposure. Career opportunities, I'm sure all of you worry about your careers post your program. Well, in general, we have seen that the students pursue, one of the three broad career paths. A small cohort goes to study abroad, pursuing higher degrees. 10 years of the programs, we already have 3 PhDs, one of them from University of Oxford, one of them from Manchester University. Apart from them, there are people who are who work with civil society organizations. A big cohort these days are going to work with CSR foundations. We have students who work with consulting firms like Deloitte, KPMG, EY. And several of our alumni are now very established professionals, very respected professionals who are working with UN agencies, with multilateral agencies such as the Clinton Foundation, and with international civil society organizations. You have some names here, but this is just an illustrative list. There are many other places where our students are working. And here's a list of faculty. All of them are drawn from, list of places. And I think more than the degree, I think what is important here to mention is that we are deeply invested in our students. We kind of own them up. We try to, we become almost like school teachers, in the sense that, we try to engage with them, we try to ensure, and we try to, drill in them some kind of discipline in terms of their academic pursuits, so that they emerge as these really, really competent people who have no difficulty in finding jobs for themselves. That is the last of our concern, because they always do, because they now have very practical skills and very sound theoretical understanding. What you see in front of you are some of the, a snapshot of some some alumni, KPMG, then, PhD, pursuing PhD from National Law School. And imagine that this is just a 10-year-old program. And for that, we are really, really happy to say that our alumni is making us so, so proud. Some more Rajiv Agar. And what we also want to say that, it's not as if we have lost our connect with them, or we have, we have just a few names to show here. We have just a few names only because, do not want to make this presentation a terribly long one. But one is that we know by and large what most people are. We are connected with them through a registered alumni group. Our alumni group is extremely active. They are involved in placements. They are involved in organizing capacity building workshops. So, all these names that you are seeing, they are all on our phones, and, they're just a phone call away, and we often collaborate with them. They have become our peers, our colleagues who are a part of the school, and they support the school and their students in all possible manners. Okay. So this is about it. You would know that, you have appeared for CUET, which carries 75% weightage, and there's an online personal interview which is scheduled, which has 25% weightage. Okay, Master of Arts is a 2-year 4-semester program, and postgraduate diploma is a 1-year 2-semester program. The students who appear for postgraduate diploma also receive the same kind of placement support as others. Okay. Yeah. So this was it. So I invite you to write your own story at the School of Public Policy and Governance. And I'm sure that if you choose to join here, you'll have a very exciting journey. I end my presentation here. I'm happy to answer any questions. If we decide to take the questions at a later point, that is also fine by me.
I think there was one question in the chat box related to what exactly is a Capstone project. I believe the faculty had already answered it. If anyone would like to ask.
Sarveshwar will take up this question. Just let me ask someone thing.
Sure.
If they are not very pressing questions right now, we can have a presentation of NRG and take questions together if that is fine with everyone. If somebody has a very pressing question, please let us know. You can unmute yourself, speak, or raise your hands. We'll call you out. Okay, we'll take that data science, and Capstone will take this question. Vibhu, why don't you make the presentation and then we...
Sure.
Okay.
Is my presentation visible? Is the presentation visible?
Yes,
Yes,
it is
it's visible. But you are also, you have come on the full slide mode. Great, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Ipsita. As Ipsita talked also about different activities in the school, I'll limit the presentations around only natural resource and governance program and the courses and like governmental activities that we do as part of that course. So this is this is one of its kind program in the country. I can say this. I'm saying this with responsibility because as far as my understanding goes, we don't have any such programs being offered in the country, which aims at strengthening the understanding about nature-society interactions and its interface with resources, policy, institutions, and community practices. So the curriculum, which is like as we have already, as Ipsita already discussed, all our programs are NEP aligned. So the curriculum for natural resources and governance program, we use the word NRG as an abbreviation. So for natural resources and governance. So this NRG program also like PPG and other cities and governance that's offered in the school. It brings together theoretical insights, policy analysis, and community practices to develop a holistic understanding of resource governance, and it aims at equipping students with knowledge and skills to understand and conceptualize the idea of natural resources in rich and diverse ways. And this is something which is being offered in collaboration with Foundation for Ecological Security. It's one of the leading non-governmental organizations country extensively working on the idea of commons. So both FES and TISS collaborated to start this program in Hyderabad campus in 2015. Our fast pass graduated in 2017, and since then, both organizations work together to strengthen this program and bring both the practice and the theory together to the classroom. So, the idea, of course, is to train the young minds in the larger sector of sustainability management or sustainability governance. And, in the current times, this is something which is one of the major challenges that's emerging. So the curriculum here tries to, or aimed at meeting that specific requirement. And it draws from different disciplines like economics, law, political science, social ecology, statistics, data science, and the related disciplines. So the way the curriculum framework has been organized, we have a set of courses that builds the perspective that aims at envisioning a distributive, pluralistic, and regenerative resource and environmental governance systems. It also tries to bring in the systems perspective and talk about system change for resilient community and society. We also have a set of courses around institutional design. We talk about, we engage with discussions on institutions, the idea of institutions. I think this is something as some of you who might join the any of the programs in the school, you will get lots of exposure to this discussion. We also have discussions around legal framework, about community-based interventions, different policy instrument, and of course the course draws heavily from experience of the global South, because when it comes to the sustainability governance, the global South has a very different set of challenges than the global North, as we are talking about the sustainability transition. It also brings in economic frameworks, because that's something which is at the core of the policy and governance issues. So we have courses that deals with the microeconomic behavior concerning the resource use. We have a course on ecological economic. Apart from that, we also tries to bring in these economic frameworks in other courses as well, that talks about different kinds of policies for sustainable and just transition, the economics of environmental regulations, economic valuation of ecosystem services. These are the different kinds of policy tools, both market and non-market based tools. The curriculum also has courses around analytics and problem solving, right? We have the systems thinking and modeling courses, which is being taught by very reputed external experts. We also bring to the curriculum the statistical methods, different quantitative and qualitative research methods, and of course larger issue of data analytics, data visualization, and for particularly for natural resources governance program, we also have significant engagement with significant use of the geospatial analysis for visualization of different components of society and nature. And the curriculum also had significant focus on socio-ecological research. Like if some of you had could find time to have a look at the curriculum, that we have the list of courses that we have in the web page. We do have the second year, like because it's an NEP aligned course. A year is mostly research oriented, and in the first year we do try to build students' capacities on different kinds of socio-ecological research, like the different kinds of tools that is required for ecological monitoring, institutional and social mapping, like systems modeling, impact assessment, and evidence building. And like, of course, as I said, in the third semester, we have courses on qualitative, quantitative, and mixed research methods. This course is also has a significant policy focus. We have several common course. We call it school commons. If again, some of you could find to have a look at the course structure there, like which is offered together to public policy and natural resources students. We have courses on policy analysis and social analysis. And of course, we also in the second year, we have policy area concentrations. Ipsita was talking about 3 concentrations that we have for public policy and governance program, whereas like for natural resources and governance program, we have 2 policy area concentrations currently offered, the climate future and commons future, we call this. This is a kind of mini specialization where students not just do some kind of coursework, but also take up research projects, their live research projects. They work with different organizations. And the course has extensive experiential learning. Like as I said, we collaborate with FES. FE, like in the first year itself, in the semester 1 and semester 2, we have 2 experiential learning that we facilitate in collaboration with Foundation for Ecological Security, where students go to the field. They like one of these few of these field sites of Foundation for Ecological Security. FES works across country. They have like field sites in different states. So like students in smaller groups, they go to those places, they stay in these with the communities and do not just experience and also do lots of documentation there, and also learn, as I said, all these tools that is being taught around socio-ecological research is also being like this is where the experiential learning comes to is helpful. And Capstone project will have like in detailed discussion after this. So this program, like public policy and cities program, we also have the Capstone project. So entire 4th semester, the students are supposed to they get attached to different organizations who are working on different issues, related issues, and they work with them on specific research or implementation or like any kind of activities that do, and then they come up with this. So entire 4th semester is like for the Capstone project, and it's a kind of sector engagement of the students. So students also get to know how what's actually like on the real world sustainability challenges, or like the projects they get the opportunity to work there. So this is like about. So like as I said, we offer both postgraduate diploma and also Master of Arts. So MA degree is for 2 years. So like where the second year is, as I said, is essentially for the research. In the 3rd semester, we have several research-based the courses that build students' capacity to undertake research. And 4th semester, we have Capstone project. Whereas for postgraduate diploma students, they do not have these 2 components. But they do get. They have to, of course, go through the experiential learning and other different set of issues that I have discussed. So this is like the framework for postgraduate diploma. Like those of you who are interested for like, I mean, we can of course discuss after this, and please have a look at the course structure that we have in the web page, the program web page. Like this is something which is a very common question, and of course students need to be concerned about this, about the placements. Like our students are like, we are a much younger program. Like, I mean, I think the 8th batch will be graduating this year, but we have our footprints in almost all national and international environmental organizations in the country. Right. So, like, I mean, I have just put like the logos of different organizations where students have worked or currently working, like alumni are currently working or engaged in this. And some of our students do go for higher studies. They, like, I mean, pursue PhDs and like, I mean, both in universities in India as well as also abroad. So we have also listed some of the universities logos where students are alumni are currently pursuing PhD or like, I mean, other kinds of higher studies or short-term courses where they take up and this. And like, I mean, of course, several of our alumni are also working in, like, I mean, other countries. Like, I mean, they travel. I mean, they had gone for some different kind of courses there and like pursuing are very much active in the sector. So these are like, I'm briefly about different places where our students work or pursuing. So this is like, I mean, few snapshots. I think like if some of you can go to our web page, you can also download the brochure and like, I mean, look at these details. Here are like some of our students. As I said, we are much younger program. Like, I mean, our 8th batch will be graduating, but like, I mean, several of our students have alumni are actually leading specific unit, specific activities in different organizations in the country as well as abroad. So I'm not like, I mean, getting into each of their profiles. You can have a look like whenever free. And like, I mean, I think Ipsit has already talked about the faculties in the institute. Apart from the school faculties, we do like, I mean, also get faculties from other organizations. Like for instance, like we do invite like, I mean, law professors, law practitioners from different like from other institutions to come and teach environmental law course. We have Mr. Mihir Mathur, who like, I mean, who is known for his work on system dynamics and modeling. He also teaches that course. Then we also we have people. We have Ashwini Swine, who is also work on energy transition issues. He comes and teach one of the courses on energy transition and resource governance. So we do like, I mean, draw upon the faculties from other universities in the country. I'll stop here and we'll take questions if any. Thank you. Sorry.
Is Ipshita here? She's left.
Yeah, she's here.
Ipshita, you may start with the capstone thing, then we'll take it on.
I was thinking, Asim, if you want to add anything to what we have said, we could, you know, start with that.
Okay. See, I just, I'm audible to everyone?
Yes.
See, what I want to share is the philosophy behind the school. And how does it make a difference? I'll take 2 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with the word. I said the word philosophy, but it does not mean I'm going to speak philosophy. So I would much appreciate if some of you can at least open your videos so that we can speak and interact much better than what we are doing right now. See, what the school does 3 things, irrespective of the course. We have 3 courses: natural resource and governance, public policy and governance, and cities and governance. the school does, the common thing across these courses are three. First, it makes you understand why do certain things, certain initiative work or they don't work. It can be in the domain of natural resource, why climate policy works or does not work, under what condition it works. Second, it tells you about when you are examining why something works and why something does not work, it persuades you to understand the processes behind it, which is very, very important. And third, it tells you what is the outcome of it. Now, this is what all initiatives are about. An idea which is implemented, the process which implements it, and what is the results. These are the three benchmarks of any initiative which you have. You came here, there was an open house with an idea that it will make you learn something about what are the courses about. There's a process which is going through. And if by the end of the process, you will know what is the kind of process. So now these things and the process and the outcome part requires both four kind of essential requirements. One is that you have to understand the institutions. Second, you have to understand institutions means the people, the organizations, the entity which are responsible for doing that. Second is that you have to understand who are the stakeholders in that, who may impact those institutions, whether during that process you can qualitatively understand it, how good your life is, or how many people are below poverty line. One is the quantitative, one is the qualitative. So both understandings are must. The processes needs to capture that, and so is the outcome. So if I only tell you that there 36% dropout is there, that gives you the outcome, but that does not tell you the process why that 36% outcome was there. Now, this is one macro thing about the school. The second thing is that what school strives to inculcate. It may sound very cliched, but it's something like what kind of world you want to stay in. That means there is a value for equity, diversity, and sustainability. So these are the ethics which are inculcated in every course. When we say ethics, I think Ipshita spoke about ethics, or either one of them spoke about ethics. These are the ethics which are inculcated in that. What is the value of? See, equitability does not mean equity. I and you need not be equal, but we should be equitable. That is the first. Second is the idea of social justice and diversity. The third is the idea of diversity and plurality. I am sure if we take a background of all of you, you must be there from 12, 13, 14 states. The TISS students right now, in TISS Hyderabad I'm talking about, they come from more than 22 states. That's the peer group which you interact with. Diversity teaches you a lot. That's the second part. The third part is that the courses which the school offers, Vikram, you're from Bihar. How was the election today?
I don't see the voting percentage, but in my region, it is on 20th May.
Okay, great. So the third part is that all school gives a clear pathway for the emerging job markets. Tejal will come to all those things. Don't worry. We have time. We have still some time. So the school creates a pathway for the emerging job markets. When I say emerging job markets, what I have in mind is that we don't want to create technocrats. We want to create thought leaders. And I'll quickly explain the difference between the technocrats and thought leaders. That if you evaluate lots of data and tell me the road construction in Bihar is 6 kilometers per day, and in Maharashtra it is 10 kilometers per day. It's a valuable information, but it's technocracy. Until unless you're able to tell me why does Bihar not construct 12 kilometers per day? And what could make Bihar construct 12 kilometers per day? So when we talk about ethics, when we talk about sociology, when we talk about political science, when we talk about law, when we talk about, so these diverse disciplines makes you understand the process which I was talking in the second point, and makes you understand the problem very well. And that's why our alumni, if you see, they have a very good mobility. Everybody has an entry-level job will be similar. 40,000 to 70,000 rupees, 80,000 rupees per month. Nowadays, this year, this has risen a bit, 55,000 to 95,000 rupees. But it may be similar. This is what I'm trying to say. Somebody got 120 also this year. Few of them, not some. So I'm saying, what I'm trying to tell you that, but what matters between a good education and what matters in a tick box education is that the mobility is very good. So if you see our alumni, they are in the decision-making capacity right now, who are 3, 4, 5 years, who have graduated in the past 3, 4, 5 years. So these are the 3, 4 things which are very essential about this school. I will take specific questions now. The one was about the Capstone. Is there anything which I have said something you want to ask on this, or should I go ahead with the questions which are in the chat box? Okay, so
Sir, you said your alumni are in decision-making process. Can you please elaborate, like decision-making process? Are they in governance?
decision-making means, I'm sorry, I could not explain it well to you, but let me explain.
Okay.
Decision means that if you work in a team, Tejal,
yeah,
work in a team, you
Mhm.
should be the leader of that team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if you don't have, and when you become a leader of the team, that means 100
Mhm.
people come together in an organization and 10 becomes leader.
Yes, yes.
So what are the skill sets? So we see, I'm saying whenever I keep on saying one thing to every aspirant of any course in this country, you should
Okay.
evaluate a course on 3 counts.
Right, sir.
What is perspective it is giving to you?
Mhm.
What is the competency it is giving to you? And what are the skill set it is giving to you?
Right, sir.
So now, if you have combination of these 3, skill set is that you are very good in statistics or big data, or you do surveys very well, or you understand institutions very well. You can do a legal analysis very well. That is skill sets. Competency is that when you are able to bring several things together and put it in a framework. That is competency. Perspective is that you are able to bring the skill set and competency and chart out a trajectory for the future. Public policy requires those kind of people. And when we say, and so these 3 sets, courses we have, they give you different skill sets. They give you different competencies. But what it gives you in common is a pathway to become, if you're able, if you're, see, the other part is that it's not that it's not my guarantee. Nobody give a guarantee. Nobody can say, okay, you come here, you'll get all this. It is also your sincerity to acquire what we are asking you to do. See, when the placement season comes, every year I tell people, and that is 100% true every year, that if you have done your 3 semesters of work with sincerity, you will be the first to get placed. And that happens every year. Everybody gets placed by the end of the semester. By the time we reach convocation, everybody gets placed. But what I'm trying to say, that it's your ability, your sincerity to acquire those skill set, competencies, and perspectives also. And if you do this, when I say you are the decision, that is the decision making, that you are the, your mobility is so quick that you are a leader at a very young age. If I give an example, I have a student called Rajiv Agur. He was a physiotherapist before coming to us. Currently, he's heading in the one of the major domains of public policy in Amazon. We have a civil engineer, Alan J. Samuel, who had taken out the India Human Development Report, that which Niti Aayog published, and then 6 months after that, he was taken into United Nations Director's Office. We have people who have got into consultancies, like PW's, Deloitte's, and so on and so forth, who get into it. And day before yesterday, we were talking to one of our friends in PwC, Bhibu and myself, and the person, it was a WhatsApp conversation. We have one WhatsApp group together. So the gentleman wrote to us that you have given the best students to us. So what I'm trying to say, that what the school does not create technocrats. It creates a thinking mind. The success of education is that if your course is able to create a faculty of thinking in you. Yes. So are there any questions here? I can move on to the questions which are there in the chat box. Before I do that, I have to listen to our daughter for 30 seconds. Yes, tell me. I'll mute.
Yeah, that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Partha.
Sir, my question was that, do we graduate as a generalist in public policy? Like, are we at the end of the course, do we end up as becoming generalist, or do we find opportunities to become like specialist in certain, like you said, say statistics, or so on and so forth? Do we have the option to have any specialized knowledge in those particular fields so that we can have some domain expertise at the end of it?
See, public policy creates a graduate which is a combination of a journalist and a specialist. I'll explain how. It's not a specialist like the cities and NRG, because 2 years only you do that. But what a combination of journalists, see that first of all, it gives you, public policy course gives you a, when I say journalist, it means is a complete architecture and framework of how policy operates internationally in comparison to India, and in India in particular. That is the journalist part. Specialist part is the policy area concentration. You may like to specialize on data. So there's the second semester onwards, there is an option that you will choose a policy area concentration. This is data science and public policy. You may like to become a regulator. You like in the public policy domain, you are so there's a second concentration for regulation and institutions. Third concentration is social conflict and public policy. When we say social conflict, Ipshita is here. She leads that concentration. It's not about conflict the way we mean as a conflict. This conflict can be in everyday life. She calls two kinds of conflict. One is the familiar margins. That family, there's a caste related issue in development, there's a gender related issue in development, the gender and participation rate, women participation in the economy is going down. So these are, for you, some may term it as a very economist kind of thing, but the conflict are very latent in the society. If you don't address policy issues, they flare up. So when we say social conflict, we don't mean a physical conflict. It can be physical also. I'm not denying that. But so that is third kind of a concentration. So what you do, around 40% of your curriculum is devoted to that specialization, which is about the policy area concentration. So it's a combination of journalist and a specialist. Whereas if you do a course on natural resource and governance, your pathway is towards natural resources and governance. If you do a cities and governance, you are basically, we will address the cities question in again in couple of days. But you're largely concentrating on cities, which are going to be the major fulcrum of development in this country or anywhere in the global south.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And say we find some sort of specialization during the course, like you said, if we are focusing on a certain domain, does the eventual placement depend on that as well? Like where you end up working, who gets hired in which stream?
So you have given an opportunity to answer another question also. So see what happens, once you do a concentration, there is around over 3 semesters, there are around 4 to 5 months of fieldwork. Okay. So after first semester, it's an independent fieldwork. It's a rural experiential learning. But after the second semester, when you choose a concentration, you start your capstone project. This is what I was somebody has asked. Capstone project is when you put yourself, when you are placed in an organization which is working on a policy issue related to your concentration. And you have a hands-on experience of working on a real life policy issue. Right? And in the fourth semester, the complete 3.5 months you're in that organization. So after second semester, after third semester, after fourth semester. So these are the capstone projects, are the pathways for you to specialize in that. So what we do is that we create an MOUs with those organizations. Internship is not looked by students in public school or public policy on their own. The school gives them the internship as per their concentration, whether they are in NRG, whether they are in cities, or they are in public policy and governance.
Okay, sir.
NRG,
Thanks.
for instance, has a partner called Foundation for Ecological Security. It's the biggest organization of this country who are working on natural resources. When we depend natural resources, we are not talking about mountains and forest. That's also a concern. I'm not saying mountains, forests are not our concern. But what is also, we think about the lakes, the water bodies, the village open grazing lands, the mangroves, the wildlife. At some point of time, our students did a wonderful work on human and wildlife conflict. These are also natural resource questions. So if you're doing a capstone there, you're attached to those organizations which are working on those areas. In regulation, suppose you are doing can I just, if you are, can I, let me show you one particular, Shari, is it possible for you to show your data science capstone of the second semester student, the video?
So, yes, sir. Just give me a moment.
I will show you the data science. I will show you 2 capstone videos right.
Sorry, you are muted.
I said, please carry on. I'm just looking for it.
Okay, I'm also down. We'll show it the way. Let's see. So capstone projects. So you can be attached to different organizations, which is your area of specialization, for around 16 to 20 weeks over the period of 2 years.
4 months.
So that is what is sorry.
No.
So that's what your capstone project is about. So now that's where we create a pathway for you. Coming back to the question whether you go to that organization to work or not. It's a very difficult question. If you get a better and high paying job, you will not bother about your concentration and you will join something else. So on times, the people who are very passionate about it, they do go. They do pursue that path. But many a time what will happen, that is not the way it is this yes, Shari, you managed it.
Yeah. Let me know when I should start playing.
Start.
Yes.
The School of Public Policy and Governance at TISS Hyderabad has a mandate to create a cadre of public policy professionals. With the help of multidisciplinary training, aspiring policy professionals are empowered to respond to current and future policy challenges, incubate ideas, and develop institutional designs that can transform public policies and associated economic and social interventions. This video slide reports the Capstone project activities of the second semester postgraduate students of MA in Public Policy and Governance program pursuing data science and public policy as their policy area concentration. The Capstone project anchored at the Center for Knowledge Alternatives at Flame University, Pune endeavors to organize the diverse datasets of Uttar Pradesh available at the district level to facilitate robust policy conceptualization, monitoring and feedback. The Capstone project has 5 interrelated objectives. First, it will provide insights on the collection of district-level data from various sources and its management. Additionally, the objective is also to understand the questionnaires used to collect the administrative data and the nature of information each data source is expected to reveal. Third, the analysis of each dataset will lead to the drawing of inferences and patterns for policy intelligence. Fourth, this attempt will strengthen and contribute to data-driven governance. Finally, it will encourage and contribute towards shifting the focus of policy from national to district level. Towards the mandate of the Capstone project team is scanning, extracting, organizing and managing diverse public and open datasets available for the districts in the country. This includes census-based information, district statistical handbooks, district gazetteers, annual reports and occasional papers of various departments in the state. Second, the team is also looking at the national level surveys like National Family Health Surveys, periodic labor force surveys, national sample surveys, etc. Third, the team is also gathering information from the report and data dashboard published by various ministries of the union and state government and other publicly available data repositories. During the Capstone project, the data analysis involved 5 interrelated tasks. First, data is extracted from open and public secondary data sources. Second, the data is being structured and cleaned. Third, the key indicators are being identified and visualized using Jovo software. Fourth, data analysis forms the basis of comprehensive reports. District-level reports will be prepared on 10 thematic areas which include health, agriculture, livestock, industry, labor, welfare schemes, transport and communication, environment, police and judiciary, revenue and expenditure. Join the multidisciplinary postgraduate program in public policy and governance and contribute to address current and future policy challenges.
Okay. So, Shari, you can close it. So these are second semester student minded. So I would just give one example from a natural resource and they say to tell you what I meant earlier by when we say that we want to create thought leaders. See, if you see, one of the projects for natural resource was that how to rejuvenate the wetlands in Hyderabad. See, understanding what is a wetland and mapping it out is a statistical job. But what the students did to create a understanding that how it can be rejuvenated itself, how it should be done. That is the one. Similarly, in this Capstone project, which you see, the last question was, how do we shift the focus of development from national state level to district level? That's a leadership question. That is not merely statistical analysis. This is what I was trying to explain. Now, but what the important part is that for this Capstone projects, like I mentioned about Foundation for Ecological Security with NRG, these are so strong organizations with hundreds of staff working there. They give you their ecosystem to prosper. And when I say prosper, I don't mean materially, I mean intellectually. So this is how we imagine ourselves. Yes, Twinkle, go ahead.
Sir, regarding the policy concentration areas, I have a question. You said regulation and institutes and data science and policies, right? So what is the difference between the two? As in, for regulations as well, you need data.
So there are three: data science and public policy, regulation and institutions, and social data science and public policy, regulation and social conflict and public policy. There are three. Right. Two are offered if you are choosing NRG. NRG offers climate change and our common futures.
Right.
So there are two. These are if you are offering NRG. Now you're asking what is the difference between them?
Yes. As in data is used in everything, right? For creating policies, for regulation as well. That's why I'm asking.
Suppose as a school, if I say that these 5 concentration I mentioned, whichever you do, you'll use data in some way or the other. Some people don't use because they are not comfortable with. That is also permissible. Some people don't do. But the data science people go deep into it. In the sense, they use micro data, they use big data, satellite data, remote sensing. Deepak, I think Deepak is one of our faculty geographer. He's here. So he's an expert in the big data domain. And your writings are based on completely a data analysis. Where you are not so much quantified. See, if you're working on institutions, you're working on design of the institutions. But if you're trying to figure out what should be the what should be the best toll rate on a national highway. So then you do and you will not get data anywhere else. How will you get how many vehicles pass? So that's the source of a big data, the satellite data. How many accidents? What are the hotspots of accidents? Suppose tomorrow your local government calls you and says, as a policy personnel, tell me that how do I manage accidents in my city? How do I manage lakes in my city? So the big data has the capacity to tell you that the kind of work with Bhibu students do natural resource. See, they can tell you that how much green spaces were there in 2003 and in 2023 by the big data itself. So this depends on what kind of specialization you do. Data is required for everything, but what is your main focus of analysis? That is the difference. Jyoti.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for giving us enlighten us about the programs itself.
Just a minute, Rishi, if you have some pressing question before leaving, you can ask, or have a good night, good evening and good night. Jyoti, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question were around like if I am choosing public policy and governance, can I also choose in electives from the core electives from other courses as well, like from gender and livelihood? Can we choose? Can we do that?
See, there is already well, in the sense that if there is some possibility of CBCS courses, one or two courses here and there, but by and large, these concerns are taken care here also, gender, caste, diversity and all. But there is a possibility if there is an optional course, but many optional course, you can always do that. Otherwise, even if you are not doing that, you can audit any courses across the schools. And audit is also recorded in your mark sheet.
And one more question I have. So like if some candidate who wants to do further higher education for say PhD, how much support do they get from institute?
See, ideally, we would love if our students go for PhD abroad. We always, every year, we say that we will make a small faculty mentor group who will help students to prepare for their PhD proposals and apply abroad. But there are only one or two or three who are here for that pursuit. Most of the students want to work for some time and then go abroad. But we have every year, one or two people. We have alumni who have done from Oxford, Manchester, where was it? Pshita students from Pennsylvania. No, so there are lots of students recently. Given a 10-year history of the school, we have already by now we have 7-8 PhDs which have graduated abroad from abroad.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
See, Abhijit, Rishi, I said.
Rishi has set up questions.
हाँ, क्या है?
One is the scholarships and study loans, educational loan.
Study loan is easily available. There are some student aid given, but that student aid is not significant enough to carry you on the basis of student aid for 2 years.
Yes.
So what is difference between Master of Arts and postgraduate diploma in public policy and governance?
So all three programs, natural resource and governance, cities and governance, and public policy and governance, they offer a PGD as well as a degree course. Difference is in the second year, the third semester is a methods of research course of that particular program you are doing. If you are working on natural resource and governance, you are studying methods and how to do a policy research in that. And the fourth semester, you are in a capstone project for 4 months.
So with diploma
is only a 1-year course.
Okay.
Okay.
And with diploma, can I get a postgraduate degree as well?
Sorry?
Postgraduate degree, sir. It is postgraduate.
See, if you apply for a degree, you can exit with a diploma by keeping your credits. That was the National Education Policy allows. But if you're applied for diploma, you cannot switch over to degree.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Anurag.
Sir, first of all, good evening, and it's an absolute honor to speak to you, sir. Heard a lot about you, sir, and it's an honor, sir, to speak with you. Hello.
Yes, I feel like a star. Thank you so much for those kind words. But
so my question is, during interview, what qualities you see in the student while selecting, irrespective of the.
This question is a very, very important question, and all of you, please listen to this very carefully. None of us are going to ask you anything which you don't know. Your interview will be solely based on you fill a DAF form, which tells you who you are, why you are doing this course. Don't use ChatGPT to fill that form. If you are smart, we are smarter than you. No, because so see, that's the end of you. That's the end of the interview. I'm just honestly telling you. We are not bothered about your language. We are not bothered about your accent. We are not bothered about which college you have come from. You may be from Chhatra to Begusarai to Barabanki to Kandmahal to anywhere, to from Stephens Hindu, whatever you are coming from. We are not bothered about that. We are bothered about your passion to pursue the course. We are bothered about how much we are, just give us some credit that after being so long in this location, we can understand the students very well. If you are able, you are sincere, we will ask questions on your strength. If you tell me in an interview board that my area of strength is groundwater, underground water, we'll ask questions on that. And we'll educate ourselves also through your answers. Correct? Rishi, you have to go quickly ask your questions.
Sorry, sir. I can start now. Sir, so I have two questions basically. Sir, first question is very simply, as you just replied about the student aid fund, that it is not enough that it will allow us to sustain whole 2 years. So we have to arrange some loans, but as you said, the loans would be easily available there in the bank with the name of the institutions behind. So I think that is the answer for the first question. I also have the second question. If you want to add something to the first question, or is it going right?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
fine.
Okay, sir. So, sir, the second question is basically I have interest in the 3 courses. One from the TISS Bombay, that is Water Policy and Governance, and 2 courses from our institute, which is TISS Hyderabad, like Public Policy and Governance and Natural Resource and Governance. 3 of these courses has my interest, and now I'm confused how to prioritize them because we have to just fill them in the form. So it would be really nice if you can give me some guidance, some light.
See, I will tell you, how will I make this decision? Let me be very frank. Since 2 of your courses are related to natural resource, water policy and natural resource, is there somewhere related to the environment, those kind of issues?
Yes.
Correct? Yes. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So I would suggest that if you don't want to be very, very sure right now at the MA stage that you will specialize in water. Water is a one part of it. So you should pick up a broader course like natural resource. Now this gives you an understanding of the whole sustainability and ecosystem, and you can specialize in water within the natural resource itself. But having said that, that's also a very good course. I'm telling the difference between both of them.
Got it.
I'm not saying that course is not good. Please don't quote me wrongly anywhere.
No, sir.
No. So that's also a very good course. I am saying the difference is that in natural resource, you can specialize in water itself.
Yes, sir, got it.
और कुछ नहीं समझ में आता तो कॉइन उछाल के कर लेना.
जी सर, अक्कड़ बक्कड़ बम्बे बो.
Okay. ठीक है. हाँ. Aman.
Hi, sir. Good evening. I
Very
just
good
wanted
evening,
to know, is there any specific reason that cities and governance course, like 2-year course costs around 6 lakhs and other courses around 1.5 lakh? Like all the courses have capstone projects. So I just wanted to know why it basically 2-year course costs such high.
Very good question. See, cities and governance course is a, well, like how many of you are there? 60 people. 5 I remove 555 of you are there. And between 55 of you, you have combined knowledge of what we have here. If you add to it, what I'm putting to in front of you, there is no course of that depth and value which is available anywhere. It is, and I'll explain why it is a costly course also. Cities and governance, I'll come to there some other session also. I'll quickly reply because the session is not meant for city, but I'll quickly reply because you've asked this question. So the reason is that it has the city's courses are 4 fulcrums. data science, finances, city finances, how does the city earn, how does the city spend, institutions and planning. All data, institutions and planning, data, institutions and finances all contribute to plan a city. Planning was the domain of architects. Planning was this domain of planning and school of planning and architecture. So you are, the why it costs more because there is something called city labs. You are for 3 months in city labs where you actually learn planning. And it is a course which is very, very futuristic because it tries to explain to you that why, see, if any country has to develop, you have to develop the smaller towns. Which state are you from?
I'm from Chhattisgarh, sir.
So just imagine if the smaller towns in Chhattisgarh are not developed, Raipur cannot carry the weight of Chhattisgarh anymore. And Raipur itself is a small town compared to Pune and Mumbai and Hyderabad. So it's the focus for the next 10, 20 years, 30 years in any country would be on developing small towns. And this is the pathway that course created, which lots of skill sets which are not there, which are very costly and which are not there anywhere else. And that's why one of the reasons it's very costly. And it's a course which stands on its own feet also. It's a course which is not, it's like any IMs or they're all very costly courses. This course which stands on its own feet. Ayush.
Good evening, sir. Sir, Ipsita ma'am was talking about policy briefs in her presentation. I wanted to know, are these policy briefs different from research papers or are they same?
Policy brief are based on research papers. Which city are you from, Ayush?
Sir, Lucknow.
अरे क्या बात है, खुश कर दिया आपने.
Thank you.
So now, see, take Lucknow for instance. No, let's take an example of Lucknow. Suppose you have a project on Lucknow, and you have to tell us that why city, which is basically why Lucknow does not have a vibrant economic pool, growth pool. There's some chicken center there, there's some public administration there, but it's not like Pune is a big IT, it's not like Hyderabad is a pharmaceutical IT. No? Why? Suppose you have to say, or how do you make Lucknow into a economic growth pool? Suppose this is the question you have to answer. Yes. This question comes from research. We call it policy analysis exercise.
Okay.
When you do that exercise, you prepare a policy brief. Now, can I ask Shari to show us a policy brief? Show the policy brief of the smart city. Now I'll come. So the policy brief is the crux of that thing which you need to present to a decision maker. Impress on the decision maker that what you are saying is very important. If you come to a policy domain, you will find that anybody who is very busy and very high profile does not have, I mean, Shari, 2 minutes, does not have a, does not have an attention span for more than 3-4 minutes. So you have to convince them in that period. So show this is a digital policy brief. This is from a different course, but you'll understand.
Sorry?
Go ahead. This is from cities, but the answer is the same.
Welcome to an exclusive series, Cityscape, the digital policy brief series by the Cities and Governance Program, School of Public Policy and Governance, TISS Hyderabad. The Cities and Governance Program offers an unique MA curriculum, brings together the study of governing institutions and finances, equips students to learn and prepare macro and sectoral plans, and situates these in city analytics. This policy brief by Disha Arora, a student of Master of Arts in Cities and Governance, examines the various models through which the development of public spaces was financed in the cities of India and concludes with a few recommendations. The study was undertaken as part of the Capstone project anchored at World Resource Institute. Commentators say that cities are the future for all economic and social sojourn. With Indian cities expected to house 40% of the population and 75% of Indian GDP by 2030, the cities require comprehensive development of physical, institutional, social, and economic infrastructure. One important element of infrastructure development is the creation of public spaces. Public spaces encourage and promote economic activities, social interaction, and cultural expression, besides strengthening climate resilience. United Nations Habitat defines public spaces as all places publicly owned or of public use, accessible and enjoyable by all for free and without a profit motive. The definition emphasizes the importance of inclusive spaces, public ownership, and public utilities. The policy brief examines the financing models of public spaces in 26 capital cities of India. First, these cities represent diverse demographic, economic, and infrastructural characteristics. Second, capital cities are likely to receive significant government and private resources for development, thereby making it ideal for studying financial models and institutional designs in public space development. Lastly, capital cities draw more policy attention, ensuring better and transparent availability of data to showcase innovations in public interventions. The diverse typologies of public spaces that these 26 smart cities developed include green spaces, blue spaces, heritage and cultural spaces, religious sites, street and walkways, social and economic infrastructure. Further, the incorporation of modern amenities in spaces like markets, art districts, stadiums, and commercial complexes reflects the promotion of economic vitality, social vibrancy, and cultural dynamism within smart cities. The funding for creation of public spaces are drawn from diverse funding sources. A significant source of funds comes from convergence funds, which is nearly 50%. The B chart on the right shows that convergence funds used for creating public spaces are primarily drawn from missions programs of the central and state governments or resources allocated to urban local bodies. The Smart City Mission provided a little above 20%, while private-public partnerships with corporations raised around 16% of the funds required for the creation of public spaces. What are the challenges and way forward for developing public spaces under the Smart City missions? It is recommended to enhance funding for public spaces in smart cities through a diverse range of funding sources. These include creation of public space fund at the state level that can draw resources from union and state governments to support the urban local bodies for creating public spaces. This may also include development fund from political representatives. Leveraging the new instruments of finance such as land value capture, municipal bond, and low interest loan from domestic and international financial intermediaries. Public-private partnerships and philanthropic contributions. And user charges. Last but not the least, strengthening financial planning and management capacities is crucial for efficient fund utilization and long-term sustainability. Once financed, the sustainability of inclusive public spaces require participatory governance, including monitoring. This entails, first, strengthening the institutional capacity of the ULBs for undertaking interdisciplinary planning processes to align with its objectives. Second, the plans of the city at the design and formulation stage should include public spaces in all social and economic infrastructure projects. Third, the planning stage should ensure to mitigate any potential displacements, gentrification, and exclusion. Fourth, the governance element should institutionalize a strong monitoring feedback mechanism to ensure accountability of administrators across departments. Lastly, an attempt should be made to implement user charges for financially sustaining quality and inclusive public spaces. Join the innovative postgraduate program in cities and governments and contribute to envisioning and creating equitable, gender-just, and sustainable city spaces.
So see, and this is a product of a 150 page of research. You get that? This is what is called policy brief.
Yes. So sometimes some think tanks expect research papers to have been published in some reputed research journals. So like, will policy briefs be taken as a substitute for those research papers?
No, policy briefs are not research papers.
So do we write research papers as part of
Yes, you do write research papers as part of all our courses.
Thank you. So there's one more question I wanted to ask. So do we get some exposure to the various policy area concentrations before actually choosing them later?
Yes. You are explained. We make a presentation. We basically all coordinators try to attract you. Please join my concentration. So,
Thank you.
Atirishi.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, Tejal, go ahead.
Sir, how do you get information about cutoffs of the courses? Like, I have 190 in CUET, but cannot decide which course to apply and which course I'll get through it.
119, 190.
190, yes, sir.
See, cutoffs are primarily a function of how many people have applied for the courses.
Okay.
So if you are interested in policy studies, I would say
Yes, I'm interested.
apply to all 3 courses in the school, you will get one.
Okay. All 3 courses I'll get one, na?
I mean, chances or likelihood I getting one. Don't say that you said once and I didn't get it. Don't come and do dharna. Chances. No, but if you are interested in policy studies, you should apply to all 3 courses with us, and you'll show. But there are very high chances that you'll at least get one.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Atirishi, sorry. Atrishnu.
Hello, sir. I hope you're doing well and everyone is doing well. So I just had a question that in order to have an entry in the job market after pursuing public policy, so there can be certain tools, as we have talked about data, there can be a data visualization tools like SPSS. So does the faculty provide that exposure that students will learn in the campus and all to hone their technical skills that are necessary for a public policy analyst?
See, let me have given a very nice entry point to say nice things about ourselves. So, what I am trying to say that our pedagogy is discipline neutral. It does not matter which discipline you come from. A medic or a lawyer or a physiotherapist or a civil engineer or computer engineer or a economist. The pedagogy, the way we interact in the class, brings everybody at the level playing field. And you would be taught every single software. But people, suppose, who don't choose data science as their concentration, they might not do R and Python and for the sake of fun, alligator and crocodiles. No, so there are various kind of softwares. So you will do all kind of R, Python and everything you choose. But if you're not doing a data science, then you will not use those softwares. You will still be trained in, because micro data you cannot do without softwares. Even the NSS and PLFS, the second, no, you have to use softwares there. We don't use SPSS, we use R. Because R is a better and software as well as a free software. SPSS is aged now. So you will get that. And we have a completely disciplined neutral. I think Ipshita spoke about it at that time also, saying that some of our best students in data come from English literature. It's a very disciplined neutral pedagogy.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Prakash. Vikram.
Thank you, sir. Sir, my question is, can an RD student collaborate with the TISS Mumbai Climate Change and Sustainable Studies students?
Collaboration in what sense?
Learning efficiency and effective tools, climate change related.
See, if you are joining NRG
Because
or climate
yes,
change
yes,
in
sir.
Mumbai, now both of them
No,
will.
sir.
हाँ.
Yes, sir.
अरे विक्रम जी, मैं बताने की कोशिश करता हूँ, MA के 2 साल बहुत कम होते हैं. You will not realize when you are here and when that 2 years are over. So that we have exchanges, we have lectures, some common lectures. In fact, we are thinking this year about creating a global classroom. That means the common courses across the global classroom once means that is a smart classroom, it's hybrid. So any classroom which is conducted anywhere that the students here can also participate. So that kind of collaboration would be there, but not necessarily, it should not be a formal collaboration that is not joint degree or that, nothing of that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Prakash. Prakash, can you hear me? Aman is an old. Prakash, go ahead. Prakash, you are muted.
Sir, I think the last doubts were asked by
Sir,
Prakash.
I can ask you before the NRG student can collaborate with the TISS Mumbai Climate Change Sustainable Study. Then you answered me.
Okay. Sorry. I mistook that. I thought it was big.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Aman,
Thank you,
that
sir.
is older hand or a newer hand?
Sir, older hand only, but I had one more question.
पूछिए बिल्कुल पूछिए.
Sir, is there a specific reason why the regulatory policy and governance course is under the School of Habitat Studies and not under School of Public Policy? Like, how distinct are these two courses? Because both talks about,
How distinct are these two courses?
yeah, like what is the
It's the
reason?
same question which was asked earlier. That what is
Okay,
the difference between NRG and water policy? So we move, public policy moves from general to specific with concentration, where that is a specific course.
all right, got it.
Yeah, I think like, I mean, if you may look at the syllabus, all the courses have the details, like, I mean, the courses being taught, everything else in the web page. Then you take a call based on your interest, right? And of course, your score, everything else, like you keep that in mind and take a call on this. So, like, I mean, it's for us as an institute, all courses are good, right? So, like, I mean, we offer the courses because they do have some relevance. So, if you have to take a call between these, like, I mean, different courses, you please go through the course outline and take a, like, I mean, decision based on your interest. And of course, whatever information that you get regarding the career opportunities and everything else.
So how is data analytics integrated into the coursework? See, we start with something called commons. क्या कहते हैं Vibhu?
Academic common.
Academic commons. See, I'm getting old now, I'm forgetting. So so academic commons. Academic commons teaches you basics of Excel, everybody in the campus. Basics of Excel, Stata, all those things. And then there are several workshops. And then there are courses offered on that. So these 3-step courses, now if I explain to you by the time, so your curriculum is so structured that at some point of time by the second semester, your data will be getting it, your assignments will use data to write a curriculum, assignment for some other course. Which the skills which you have learned in the data analysis course or a workshop or the academic commons course. Now, for working with government, do we have to clear any exam or direct placement would help? Government takes consultants. if you want to get into civil services and other things, you have to take an exam. Isha Divedi, are you still here? Capstone project I've explained. What kind of opportunity can get NRG in government sector? People want to take that question? What kind of opportunity you can get in NRG, Shah?
Our students to work for different, like, I mean, for instance, now there are several state governments have their climate change unit, SDG units. So some of our students are also working there. In the livelihood missions, they have the natural resource restoration units where, like, our alumni are working. So, like, I mean, I think this will be my response.
Gaurav Jain, are you here? I think Gaurav, I've answered that question. We always formed a group of faculty who will support students if they want to pursue a PhD abroad. Can you talk, Twinkle? Can you talk a little about policy area concentration? I think I've explained that, Twinkle. Could you tell us about the interview? Like I've also explained that, Ritu. Gaurav Jan, Ritu B, Vishnu could tell us about admission process. So admission process, if you have taken the CUT exam and registered at TISS, choose your 3 options. COPQ 11 scores. That's it. 75% from that exam and 25% from your interview. Both of it together makes the final score and you get the admission. Tejal, could you tell us more about placement and opportunities? Tejal, are you clear about that or should I explain more about it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I just wanted to know about opportunities in policy and governance later.
Shari, I will request you please put the NRG and PPG brochure there, as well as the WhatsApp group of both these things, so that
Yes, sir,
they
that
can
will be very useful.
and you can ask anytime any question. And Tejal, the brochure will give you the details about the placements also.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Hostel facilities in TISS Hyderabad. See, we don't have hostels, but there are number of private vendors, flats, and so more. But the prices are really very reasonable. You can stay in TISS Hyderabad depending on what's your taste in life is, from anything between from 8,000-9,000 to 1 lakh rupees. But an average cost is 10,000-12,000 rupees. Now, even if you're staying up, well, obviously you will not be having dinner and sitting in a pub every other day, but 10,000-12,000 rupees is a good way to think of your monthly expenditure, which includes everything. Thinking out of box, Narasimha Raju, what?
I'm just adding the points, sir, you are talking about the policy, like.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir.
Sir, can you please tell your other program as well? See, we have done this NRG, Tejal, we have spoken about, we have PPG. Shortly, we'll do other session on cities, you will see that also. And you make the best decision possible from that. Scholarship, I've explained. Regulatory policy review, I have explained. Scientific and logical reference data, so there's some comment. Rishi has got the question, I think we have answered that. Udit Krishna, how does the program address the intersection of economics and public policy? Are there courses focused on that? Very good question. Who is this? Uday, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Uday. So, Uday, there at least 40% of the courses are the intersection of economics and other social science disciplines. It can be economics and law, it can be economics and political science, economics and sociology. So because see, every single course here is this is not a discipline course. It's not a course in economics. If you do economics, you have to explain. But I should tell you something. That economics which we do in this country is basically sociology for United States. This economics we study poverty, gender discrimination, food security. These are the questions of sociology in US. Economics is something very different, and most of our courses are at the intersection of several disciplines, not only economics. So that you will find people you will find your teachers, you will find your peers who are, even when they write the capstone project or they write their dissertation or the policy brief, they're always using information from economics, data from economics, patterns from economics to answer some certain policy concern by drawing from sociology, anthropology, political science, and so on and so forth. Vishnu, you can do audit in every semester.
Okay, sir.
Can you advise how to approach current economic issue or policy perspective? That is your ability, na? Why should India shift to e-vehicles? If suppose this is a extempo question, what will you answer? Think about that. Again, extempo, don't get nervous. There's an option also. If you don't, they will give you another option. Suppose you said, okay, I don't like this topic. What are you telling me about e-vehicles? I don't know what is E of e-vehicles. So they will give you another option. Don't worry about that. Vishal 154. Again, I will repeat. Vishal, is Vishal here? Anybody who is interested in policy issues, you apply for all the 3 courses. The chances are that you will get one. Yes, Uday Krishna, that it will give you very, very strong foundations. Better than B school economics, I can assure you that. To pursue a PhD, which is a pursue a doctorate, which is worth making a good publication in a book or a journal form. I think correction window will be open, Ashmita, and we will get back on that. Are there any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, I have secured only 167, and as you talked about the initial process of COET, now I have left the second stage, 25% weightage of interview. Okay, so how can I assure my chances for the interview? And I only opted for public policy and governance. Now I am confused whether to choose only public policy and governance and the 3 courses.
If I had been you, I would choose all 3. You can make a decision later. Whether you want to join, nobody will kidnap you from your home and bring you to Hyderabad. You can take a decision whether you want to join or not. But join, if you are interested in policy, apply for all 3 courses. Ayush.
So I wanted to ask if someone is interested in writing UGC net. If I want to write using the subject political science, so if I'm pursuing MA in public policy, will that be a hiccup in writing?
Not at all. Not at all. You can do that also. You can do a public administration net also. And by the time you do your PhD, public policy will be one of the very, very major disciplines. Every single year, there are 8-10 course universities which adopt. We are the beginners, but all IIMs, IITs, they are all adopting them.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Prakash.
Sir, any disadvantage of gap year, sir?
No.
Okay.
Don't worry. It's an advantage you are more mature. If age is a sign of maturity, that I don't know, but people say so. Yes, anyone else?
Sir, I had another question. Perhaps I wasn't sure if I should ask or not. Sir, given that we are looking for the maximum, I mean, the widest possible scope, let's say I am interested in cities and governance, but I don't want to, specialize right from the get-go. And I would rather prefer to go in public policy and governance and then maybe find a way to get towards cities and governance. So, what courses would you suggest I should fill up in those three slots with the widest possible scope of moving forward? Not just in terms of like package or anything, but in terms of like further studies also.
See, none of the courses in the school makes you misfit for any other pursuit. I'll explain why. There's a very solid academic / intellectual reasons for that. Because the school is very strong in methods. Correct. Let me give an example to you. Suppose you're doing public finance. Correct. You want to specialize at some point of time in public finance. You become interested in that. Cities give you an anchor in public finance. The methods of studying public finance of the cities will be similar to studying public finance, how much money is invested in lakes, public money is invested in lakes, or how much, or if you want to get into monetary finance, monetary economics, the methods are the same. You get my point? So if cities does not interest, suppose you are very fascinated by cities, and there's a very high prospect right now, or you are very fascinated by the lakes, the wildlife, the whole climate change. Everybody is talking about climate change at the moment. Now everybody wants you to get into this bandwagon of climate change. Well, out of 30 jobs, at least 20 are in the climate zone. Correct? So you took natural resources, but after a while you realize that nahi boss, baat ban nahi rahi. But you are so strong in methods that you will not have a problem in shifting, because you are very strong in policy methods, econometric methods, analysis. These are the strengths of. This is what I was trying to explain earlier: the perspective, the competencies, and the skill sets. If you have these three, you never lose in academically in your life.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, there is an armed force quota there. While filling the form, you should apply for that. मिनिमम मार्क कुछ नहीं होता है. हर बार मैं एक ही जवाब देता हूं कि it's not about how good you are, but how bad are others. Yes, Vikram,
So-
these are all yes, Vivu.
Yeah, so if you are interested, you apply, right? Because neither we nor you know how bad are others. Right. So if you are interested, you apply for it, it may work.
My only thing is that you have 25% in your hand. If you are passionate about policy, apply to all three. There's chances that you will get one. And please, Khushbu, can you kindly put the WhatsApp, or you have already done it? See, all of you are thanking us. You should at least actually thank Sauraveswar and Shairi. We only come as a face here. This whole work is done by these two guys.
Thank you so much, participants and professors, for patiently answering the questions. We have spent a little over 2 hours, and I don't think it feels like that because all of you have been so invested in all the programs. Shairi, once again, thank you so much for knitting this together. And aspirants, the only thing that is now left is to choose the policy programs and submit your applications well within 24th. Do not wait till the last night. Please do not wait till the last night, because you understand technical overflows, right? Which may or may not be always addressed at a very odd hour. So take your time, join the WhatsApp groups in case you aren't already a part of it. Great. Feel free to ask further questions to finalize your choices and apply to the policy school for a better tomorrow.
Vibu, एक बार एदारजी का WhatsApp group.
Yes, yes, I'm sharing. I'm sharing.
You can reach out to us at any point of time. Not
Yeah, and these links are there in the brochure also. If you go to the to the course page, these links are also there.
Great, then. So we call it a night, but we keep our focus on the programs forward. Thanks a lot, aspirants, for all the questions.
The night is here, but the morning will begin when you choose the programs.
Absolutely. We want to
all the best to everyone.
Thank you so much, professors, once more. Thank you so much, Shairi. Thanks a lot, TISS Hyderabad. All the aspirants, stay connected.
Thank you to you, Sauraveswar. Thank you so much for hosting this.
Always a pleasure and honor. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.